So in this spread, there's actually three nines cards. There's the Nine of Wands at the top, the Nine of Cups on the left bottom, and then the Nine of Pentacles on the right bottom. And nine for me is the end stage. It's a stage of initiating, I guess, into the next phase. 10 is like the graduation for me. It's just like public recognition or recognition within yourself, or, an understanding that this is absolutely the end. But very often nine is the actual end, and it just takes that. I don't know. It's like signing a document. The document's there. It's all agreed upon, etc. But it's just that final tiny act that is required. But I am seeing this in relation to the Hermit card, and the Hermit card really is about it's a spiritual card. It's about recognizing the messages that are within yourself, and I guess accepting and acting upon that, or trying to make sense of that. So with the bottom left card, the Nine of Cups, it is, I guess, and also too, the Hermit card is about lessons, spiritual lessons. So I do see that in the spread. Nine of Cups is about an emotional journey and reaching a certain stage, having gone through the ups and downs of that journey, and really accomplishing emotional growth in the process. The Nine of Pentacles is, I'm seeing that as sort of being able to establish a personal sanctuary within yourself, and perhaps understanding, having come on this journey, having come to an understanding of the necessity for that, and finding ways of establishing a place of inner peace, whether that be through rituals or some sort of process. Could be a place, a practical place, place in nature, whatever it is. It's building upon that, and fortifying some sort of inner sanctuary for, it's kind of a way of getting an escape from the day-to-day stresses and mental processes that go on. But that's how I see that nine currently. The top nine, the Nine of Wands, is a card of being Moon in Sagittarius. I see that as a card of uncertainty, a card of really perhaps not being sure about whether all the effort, all the actions that you've taken is worthwhile. And I mean, I don't know one way or the other whether it's really worthwhile. It's kind of like an understanding that whether something's worthwhile or not is a sort of a concept that is aside from the growth of the soul. I don't know whether that even makes sense, but that's what I've been drawn to say. So the Hanged Man with the Nine of Wands, to me, it's a very hopeful energy, because it says that the Hanged Man says that there's some sort of transition involved here, and it certainly could be spiritual. I see the Hanged Man as largely a spiritual card, but it can be in a practical way as well. So you could say, well, those actions that you've taken that you're really not sure about, there's definitely a worth to that, and you don't know what that is at the moment. But the Hanged Man is, as I said, a spiritual transition. And what this is saying to me is that whatever has gone on with this process, this journey, I hate the J word, but it's appropriate here, I feel, has projected you forward spiritually, um, in a way that you really may not be aware of. And it's a bit like being in the dark night of the soul, where it can be an energy of perhaps feeling like nothing's happening or no progress, or is this worth it kind of thing. But really it's saying that spiritually, the chances are with this Hanged Man that there's some sort of recalibration going on, some sort of coming together internally, some sort of really dynamic personal growth, particularly with that Sagittarius card there. Sagittarius, I think, is about learning, higher learning. And so there's really been an advancement in that way. And I want to come to the Five of Cups here. So the Five of Cups, the colour kind of dominates the spread to me, because that black really stands out against the white. And as I'm looking at this through my phone, I really noticed that. So there could be a tendency to view this in black and white, and that may be how it feels at the moment, but I feel that with this Hanged Man, that you're going to be able to get a more kind of almost a muted view on it, and that is going to change. Even if your view on this situation doesn't change, then there are hidden changes, hidden inner growth, and hidden elevation going on with this situation. So coming back to the Five of Cups, so this character is wearing black, and I am actually seeing that as a colour of protection. It can be also a colour of grief, and I think it stands for both of those things. So I'm kind of seeing the white in the background as being a light of hope, and the lightness of that is an ability to this might be a longer term thing, process things that feel like they are in black and white, but sort of like a transference to more of, as I said, a muted stage of understanding. I hope this doesn't sound like woo-woo, ramblings, but it's certainly clear in my mind. And I feel that the nines, the fact that you've got those nines there, and then you've got the Five of Cups, which is kind of and that's the overarching energy. The five is the overarching energy of this. And, you've got some really nice energy here with the Nine of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles. But the nine, if we refer back to the Hermit, is a card of isolation and being on your own. It is, I guess, that nine energy with the Hermit is kind of necessary when you think of the hermits to go off and to really, it's a soul-searching energy. So whatever this is about, it is something that you have experienced on your own. Sometimes when you experience something, and you can certainly talk about it, but nobody has experienced it exactly in the way you have. And I feel that that 5 is representing that. It's all the 9s are representing that, and the 5 is a result of that. It's having gone through this process and feeling alone with it or lonely with it or about it. And it's kind of a bit paradoxical, I feel, that we are all experiencing our own journey, so to speak. So we're, millions or billions or whatever the population is, of experiencing our own solitary journey. And yet, we're in a collective. So that's something to remember with that. And that's how I'm seeing the 5 of Cups. It is about, especially with the 3 of Cups down. The 3 of Cups represents being together, being, joyful and happy and celebrating. There's a loss of celebration here, and there's a loss, I feel, due to perhaps having completed this on their own, or lack of understanding, or there's something like that that's behind this this spread. But then what there needs to be is a recognition of that as well, a recognition of having gone along this path, or gone through this process, and it may not have worked out how you wanted it to. That's the common meaning of the 5 of Cups. But there's something to be said about actually completing it, or coming to the end stage and really recognizing the strength in that. And I see that with the 2 of Cups, the 2 cups at the back. It is about, if you think of the 2 of Cups card, it's about being connected to your higher self. And this is ultimately my belief of what the tarot cards are for, is to help us to connect to ourself, to our soul. And I feel that despite that 5 of Cups really standing out so strongly, this is really an accomplishment. It is something to be recognized, and it is also very hopeful, because with that Hanged Man, there's stuff going on that is going to lead to a different and a new path. I hope this is helpful. Cheers.